It's a new day, albeit a wet one. The good news is that these rain squalls don't typically last that long. It does give the boat a nice shower to wash off the salt from a previous day's sail. The weather has cleared and we're underway for Soper's Hole, which is just a few miles away. Given that the winds are light, this short voyage has us motoring. The well-oiled mooring ball team did another stellar job grabbing a mooring ball. We launched the dinghy and we went ashore to have breakfast at Omar's Coffee House. Soper's Hole, or the West End, is quite scenic, and there are shops, a right-way market, and a boatyard, including immigrations and customs on the other side of the bay. There are some handsome roosters here at Soper's Hole. We were lucky today in that there was live music by Jason. Top right corner of the window.
I remember in Fiji, sitting there betting, okay, I'll bet he's going to move in 15 minutes. Oh no, he's going to be there for 45 minutes.
When I laid there, yeah, I heard
This window on the white trail.
before 5. I just laid there.
We have slowed down, we're just hanging out and enjoying each other and the music. Given Klaus's hobby of photographing reptiles and bugs, I'm seeing all the little reptiles running around, like that fella on the vertical post. There appears to be some uncertainty in the air as to what we are doing next, but it all gets sorted out naturally as we make our way to the shops and the dinghy. Driftwood is a 105-foot sailing yacht built by Windship Trident in the United States at their Tampa, Florida shipyard. She is a Ron Holland design with a 25-foot 5-inch beam, and she draws 18 feet 8 inches. Breakfast at Omar's with live music by Jason was very nice. After breakfast, we walked around the shoreline at Soper's Hole, checking out the shops and the wares for sale. Now we are all aboard and departing Soper's Hole for Norman Island. We are now heading into the wind and the swell of the Sir Francis Drake Channel. Doing our sailing into the wind and swell provides a bit more ocean motion to the boat. We are now on a mooring ball at Norman Island, and again, the mooring ball crew did an amazing job of getting us tied off and secured. We have launched the dinghy and are headed ashore for some beach time, refreshments, and relaxation on one of the loveliest beaches in the BVI.
Do you think we should set up shops down there and shade things?
I think anything we can find with shade for
I think I'm
6,
gonna-
that'd be terrific. Go ahead and do it.
There is something very special about this place. If I were to be stranded somewhere in the world, this spot is high on the list. Of course, that all changes when the sun goes down and the bugs come out.
Hard at work or hardly working?
Maybe both. Norman Island is a great place. I believe Norman Island should be everyone's first stop. It's an amazingly beautiful island and mostly untouched. As it is calm, this is the best place to practice and get comfortable with your snorkel gear. There are times when the bight is rich with marine life, including turtles, so snorkeling can be amazing right off the beach.
Back to the boat. You want your boat. You can go to Willie's Keys. You know, you want a big salad. You can have that. And people don't have to communicate. Exactly. Everybody can do their own thing. How are you doing? How's your gear holding up? Not perfect. Leaking. Perfect. Perfect.
I have a little bit of water.
I like a little bit of water in it because it kind of clears it for me. So I always have, like, on purpose a little bit.
Right.
But I'm surprised. I mean, you haven't used these since 2017,
I've
right?
never used them.
Well, congratulations.
This is their maiden voyage. So, yeah, no, I had to put it together.
Yes.
Did you see some fishies?
Yeah, I did.
Good.
Yeah, yeah. That's nice. Excellent.
Yeah, little guys.
Little guys.
But good. I'm glad you are finally getting to use, and you know, so Dennis got to finally scuba. You got to finally snorkel.
Yes. Finally.
Finally. And I always say, you know, you never know what your bad luck saved you from even worse luck. Like maybe that trip that was planned may not have been what it should have been. So we got
As there are no waves or surf, this is an ideal spot for the little ones to play on the beach and in the water. Hi. What's your name? Okay. The beach at the Bight is a great spot to stretch out those stiff and sore muscles after a long travel day getting to the BVI. An easy swim in the calm water or a slow walk down the beach helps get all the travel kinks worked out. It's peaceful here, and just a short distance down the beach from the restaurant, there's not a soul to be seen. So if you need a moment or a little alone time, you don't have to travel far to find it here at Norman Island.
Oh, right on. That's amazing.
Back at the main spot on the beach, there are lounge chairs, shade from umbrellas and a few palm trees, plus restaurant and bar service just a few steps away.
So I went into the little gift shop.
Oh, you did? I'm going to have to go in there.
A few of us went back to the boat a bit early. The rest of the crew were not ready to leave just yet, so they stayed a bit longer on the beach and visited the gift shop and such, before Klaus returned to pick up the balance of the crew. With rain squalls, we often get rainbows, and now we're blessed with a double rainbow. The crew is back on board. We are going ashore to go for a hike, as the vistas from the ridge are amazing. But what do we know about Norman Island? Norman Island is at the southern tip of the British Virgin Islands archipelago. It is said that the island was named after a pirate who bought it or leased it at some point during the early 18th century. Norman Island is one of the islands said to be the inspiration for Robert Louis Stevenson's pirate novel Treasure Island.
Is that still those kids on the surfboard?
Sure looks like it.
They are having a...
It's quite windy on the windward side of the island today. Sorry?
Thinking maybe we anchor there tonight. Is that a good plan?
We could, but it'll be rolly.
A little.
Norman Island also has a documented history of pirate booty being stowed upon the island. In August of 1750, a Spanish treasure galleon sought shelter from a storm off the North Carolina coast. The crew mutinied and took 55 chests of silver coins, a treasure worth about 20 million in today's dollars. This treasure was much larger than Blackbeard ever dreamed of capturing, and thus this became the most famous act of piracy in history. Owen lived on Queen Street, up in Hampton, Virginia. He did the whole buried treasure thing in the Caribbean, specifically St. Croix and Norman Island. John Lloyd was from Church Street in Norfolk, Virginia. He was the guy with the wooden leg who owned 150 acres on the Pasquotank River. Does that ring a bell? Maybe you know John by a different name that he was given many years later, Long John Silver. Anyway, the treasure was loaded onto 2 Bylanders, one of which was carrying John and Owen Lloyd. The first vessel was lost, but the Lloyds escaped to St. Croix. After disposing of some of the money, he proceeded to Norman Island where the treasure was buried. Lloyd and his crew were later arrested, and word of the treasure spread. Residents of Tortola went to Norman Island and dug it up for themselves. Part of the booty was later recovered by Gilbert Fleming, Lieutenant General of the Leeward Islands, who traveled to Tortola with 2 companies of soldiers. Fleming had persuaded Abraham Chowell, the acting lieutenant governor of the BVI, who coincidentally led the search for treasure on Norman Island, to issue a proclamation where the treasure would be returned and the people who had dug it up would receive 1/3 as a share as a reward. The island is presently uninhabited and privately owned. Its area is about 600 acres and is about 2.5 miles long. A large harbor known as the Bight offers one of the most protected anchorages in the area. Plans for Norman Island include the development of a luxury residential and tourist destination. Frankly, I would prefer that it remain mostly untouched, as it is one of the last places in the BVI like this. Klaus continues to hunt for and photograph bugs and reptiles.
So how many pictures did you just take?
We are now heading back to the boat after an enjoyable hike on Norman Island. Come back next time for new adventures in the BVI. Thanks for watching.